Welcome to the Transformational Soul Show with your host, Ruth Soltman. Are you ready to experience more stability in your life? You can change your life and be who you are meant to be, your authentic self.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformational Soul. My name is Ruth Soltman, and I want to welcome all of our viewers and listeners, whether you're watching live or listening to the replay. And we are streaming live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. So I want to thank all of you who are here tonight. I greatly appreciate you. Please hit the like or the thumbs up button, and please reshare the posts of the show. I greatly appreciate that as well. And if you are out there watching, please say hello. I invite you to check out my website, ruthsoltman.com. That's RUTH, S as in Sam, OL, T as in Tom, M as in Mary, A, N as in Nancy.com. Now, on my website, you'll find out about my books and how to get them. Same for my oracle cards. And you can find out all about my services and how to schedule a service with me. I do have gift cards available, or gift certificates, rather. So if you wanted to purchase something, for someone else, you can do that with a gift certificate, like for Christmas. Goldylocks Productions has a wonderful, wonderful group on Telegram. I hope you'll come over there and join us if you haven't already. We share lots of great information, energy, music, all sorts of things. And Goldylocks also has an online store where you can purchase some amazing merchandise. So check that out. There's some awesome designs in there. And also, don't forget about the Goldylocks Productions Oracle cards. Energize. I guess I don't have them as close to me as I thought I was going to show you. I know you guys most of you have probably seen them because of all of us show hosts have some, and we use them on our shows from time to time. I'm going to say hello to Robert and Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you. And Richard. So nice to see all of you here. I know it takes a few minutes, once it pops up that the show is live. So, that's why I like to do the announcements in the beginning. Let's see what else. Happy birthday to everyone who had a birthday this week. And let's send out some love, light, and healing to all those who are in need. I saw via social media that a couple of my friends, people that I know, have had family members transition in this past week. I also saw a couple of my Facebook friends who are in the process of transitioning. So let's send lots of love and light and healing for their easy transition. Some love, light, and healing to their families. I know it's especially tough to lose a loved one around the holidays. So I'm sure they would really appreciate that extra boost of energy. Now, if you would like to leave a tip or a donation, you can do that via my Venmo. You can leave a Rumble rant, or on Rumble, of course, or a super chat or super sticker on YouTube. Your tips and donations are much appreciated. And they did cover the cost of my show for this month, my ones from last month. So thank you all very much. I'm very, very grateful. And just a reminder, sometimes some of the shows may only live stream on Rumble and X. If you get on your usual platform to watch your favorite show and you can't find it, then please check on Rumble or X. But remember, you don't have to have an account to watch it on Rumble, only to comment. I'm not sure how it is on X. I have no idea, but I do know that for sure on Rumble. So I don't know about you guys, But the energy for me has been insane this past week. It's probably been a little longer than a week. And I'm feeling a lot of stuff um, being lifted, I guess you could say. I feel like I am purging and cleaning some stuff out. And of course, that's always great news. It's yucky when you're going through it, but it is good news. That way, when as the new energies come in, they have somewhere to go. They can get it, then they can get absorbed, into our energy fields quicker. I feel like some of you guys have been going through this as well. High emotions, crying, irritability. I sat this morning probably for an hour and I was crying. Now, normally for me, it might not be like this for everyone else. Like I will feel it in my gut, in my solar plexus, whatever it is that's causing me to cry. But it wasn't anything. It was more that it was a completely physical kind of release of my physical body, that it had nothing to do with any emotions or feelings or anything like that. It was very strange, but it was almost like it was cleansing something, maybe my eyes, I don't know, but it felt like a cleansing, kind of letting go of something. So we're just kind of releasing more and more this stuff that doesn't belong to us anyway. And it's wonderful that we can just let it go. So if you are going through some of this stuff, you might be a little bit, irritated lately or get annoyed more easily with people or things or situations, please be patient with yourself, because we are going through yet another transformation, another high energy wave. So show yourself some extra love and some extra self-care, because you are worth it. Friday, the day after tomorrow, I'm going to start my 7 days of gratitude for Thanksgiving. And I'm going to post it in the gratitude group on Facebook. It does show up on my profile newsfeed or whatever it's called. But feel free to participate if you feel moved to do so. If not, no worries. The post will be there in the group if you want to join in. Next Wednesday will be my Thanksgiving Eve show, and I will be doing a raffle and some giveaways that night. And I'm pretty excited. I hope you will join me, and I might even have a surprise or two in store. We'll see how it goes. So I have a question for you guys. What do you carry in your heart? I had a great reminder today that what we see in the world is what we carry in our hearts. So I had posted this meme or picture or whatever it was, and it was from, I guess, a restaurant somewhere. It didn't say where it was. And I'm going to tell you guys what it said. But I think I posted it on all of my different accounts. It said, there's a whole bunch of receipts, like paid receipts outside this restaurant. It said, if you are hungry and have no money, these meals have been paid for in advance. Give a server the ticket and they will have the kitchen prepare your meal. What an amazing thing, right? How beautiful is that? I just think that is just like the most awesome thing in the world. And there's probably maybe 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Looks like 12 meals were purchased. So if someone, is hungry and doesn't have anything to eat, they can come along, take one of those, go in this restaurant and get something to eat. So I posted it on social media and someone made a comment that said, wow, that means people have to be honest. Now, you could take that many different ways, depending on your mood. But as an empath, you can also feel their energy, the energy of their intention. So I responded and said, why would you think they wouldn't be? Because to me, the world I live in, people would be honest. That's just me. And after a while, she commented and said, please, it's 2023. And when I saw that, it popped into my head, and we've all heard that expression, that we see in the world what we carry in our heart. And then it kind of made me sad for her because it just seemed like her initial feeling was that people were going to be dishonest and just take it when they didn't need it. But I didn't feel that at all. I thought it was a beautiful thing for someone to do. Now, the intention that they put out, and this is one thing I learned a long time ago, their intention of helping those who did not have something to eat. If someone takes it that might, have a $100,000 a year job, and they take that and say, oh, I don't have anything to eat, I'm going to go get some free food, just to scam someone, that doesn't take away the intention of the giver. It's not their fault that, that's the person who did that, but their intention is still good, right? Because they intended to feed someone who was hungry and needed it. But it really started me thinking about this. Some people might say, and some people may have said this to me, how do you know this isn't just some kind of stunt? People putting stuff out there to get big views. Maybe it is. But that energy of something that positive, the effect that has on the people that see it, I can tell you that is probably my most shared post in a long, long time. Every one of the pages that I posted it on, people have shared it. A lot of people have shared it, more than I can remember anybody sharing any of my posts in a long time. So people, it doesn't matter if it's a fake post, because the energy of that positivity and that kindness is what is being sent out. So that it started, that whole quote came to me, you carry, what you carry in your heart is what you see in the world. So I started thinking about that today. And if you carry around anger or anxiety in your heart, your experience and perspective are going to be much, much different than if you carry around love and kindness in your heart. Now, here's an example. And this popped into my head too, so I'm supposed to tell you about it. Many, many years ago, probably at least 20 years ago, I stopped at a gas station to get gas. Now, I stopped at a time of the day when I didn't normally stop, and I stopped at a gas station that I didn't normally stop at. Just very unusual. I pulled up to pump my gas, and the woman that was at the pump next to me had a younger child with her. He might have been maybe like 9 years old, maybe, and he was pumping gas for her. And she told him, don't go over $5 or whatever the amount was. Don't go over $5. Don't go over $5. He's like, okay. So he's out there pumping it, and all of a sudden she is hysterical, screaming at this poor kid because he went over. So she gets in her minivan and she's scrambling around for change. And she's just absolutely freaking out. And I went over to her because I could hear what was going on. She was very loud. And the kid was just very apologetic. I'm sorry. And you could hear the anxiety and the stress and just like the fear in her whole tone, in her voice. You could feel it just emanating from her. So I went over there and I gave her, I think it was like, she was like $1 or $1.20 over, something like that. And I gave it to her. And she immediately, you could just see relief on her face. And she's like, oh, thank you. Well, I have been in that situation before. I don't remember like if it was that she had forgotten her wallet or exactly what happened, but she was just trying to get enough gas to get home. Now, if I had been carrying anger in my heart that day and I would have seen her screaming at her son, I probably would have said something nasty to her for screaming at a kid like that out in public. But I wasn't. I was carrying love, and I could hear and I could feel and I could see all of her anxiety, and I could sense her stress and her fear. And when I walked over to her and I handed her the money, I just said, "It's okay. I've been there. Have a nice day." And she was just like, the look of surprise, the look of relief. That's something that you don't forget. It changed like in one split second. Now, I have been the recipient of others' kindness many, many times, and I know how she felt. And it's really awesome when you can look back on things and you can see the path behind you. We can't always see it, where we're going when we're going there, but once we're there and we look back, it's pretty clear, usually. Because I hadn't planned on stopping at that gas station that day. The time I was there was not when I would normally have been at the gas station. We were meant to have this encounter, and it was a divine intervention. And I'm sure you all can think of many situations like this in your daily lives as well. People's lives intersect. If I had done one thing differently, or if she had done one thing differently, just minutes differently, we would not both have been where we were at the same time. And when you think about that, you know that it's divine intervention, right? I mean, it just blows my mind every time I think of different synchronicities like that in my life. And there seems to be so much unkindness, stress, anxiety, anger, fear, all of that crap out there. Don't let it touch you. You can avoid it. Stay in your calmness. Maintain your inner peace. You don't have to tap into that negative energy. There's always been a lot of chaos in the world since the beginning of time. It was different than now. I mean, different situations that were creating the chaos, but there's always been chaos. I can remember hearing things when I was a kid, and then hearing things from my mom about things that were going on when she was a kid. And same thing with my grandma. And I know the things I've seen in my life. There's always this massive sense of chaos out there to try to just scare the crap out of everyone and keep everybody in this state of fear and panic. Because when we're in that state, guess what? We cannot think. We cannot think clearly. When you're in a panic state, you cannot think clearly at all. All you can feel is fear. All you can feel is fear. So stay in that inner calmness, that inner peace. Maintain your inner peace. And now that we have social media and the internet, we hear about everything in record speed. So be mindful of what information you take in. If it doesn't resonate with you, just let it go. It's not meant for you. Share the positive stuff, the positive memes, stories. Spread some sunshine. The internet has given us a wonderful way to spread positive, upbeat messages 24/7. Take advantage of that. Everything can be used for positive and everything can be used for negative. I remember back in the 80s when they were first talking about internet. My daughter was going to start kindergarten or had just started it, and they were going to use computers in school. And all the stuff I had heard about the internet was negative stuff. And I was a little bit apprehensive about it. And after we looked into it and we had the internet in our home, and we got a home computer, I mean, it's like having so much information and knowledge at your fingertips, right? You need to look up something. Well, instead of spending an hour searching for it in a book, you can Google it now, right? It does save us a lot of time. Instead of waiting for a month to send a letter to someone, in another country, you can email them or message them on social media, and they have it in a split second. That kind of communication is amazing. But we have to remember that it's not always used for our best and highest good. Okay? It's not always used for our best and highest good. But we get to decide what we take in. We get to decide what we watch, what we listen to, what we hear. We get to decide that for ourselves. So if it doesn't resonate with you, or you feel like it's a lower vibration, then move away from it. There's enough stuff out there that is of higher vibrations, that is positive. It's about time all of that stuff starts going viral. Instead of some video of a woman who gets pulled over and gets a DUI and stands there and argues with the cops for 2 hours about why she's fine. Or the one where, what's another really crazy? Just like those will get millions of views, which to me is ridiculous. And all the positive stuff that people put out there, it'll get views, but not nearly like that. All we need to start making all of this positivity, all of these positive memes, pictures, articles, everything go viral by sharing them and sharing them and sharing them and telling people about them. That's what we need. We don't need another, you guys all know what I mean. And because you've seen some of the crazy crap on social media as well. I have too. But there's a lot of heartwarming stories out there. Ones that show you how much good there is in this world. How much good there is in people. I always, my whole entire life, believed that people were basically good. That's their very core is that they're good. And I still believe that. I still do. And I will tell you that that's what I see when I go out into the world. For the majority. I have I don't go a ton of places anymore just because of my crazy schedule now. But have a good night at work, Richard. But I hear lots of stories, or from other people about experiences they had at the grocery store and the rudeness and the blah, 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 blah. And I can honestly say, and I know I've told you guys this before, that is not my experience. I'm sure those situations exist, but you know what? It's just like those people that say, oh, I hate drama. Oh, I hate drama in my life. But they're the ones that are creating it and drawing it to themselves. And I have known many, many, many people who do this. Now, teenagers, they may as well write drama on their forehead because they all seem to love it. They all seem to attract it. And their drama will be like, I'm not trying to minimize anybody's, anything, experience or anything. But it will be very, like, they make a lot more out of things sometimes than what it actually is. But, it'll be all this big dramatic thing. And it's not just them. It's a lot of people. A lot of people like the drama. They like that chaotic feeling. And they create it. They put that energy out. They bring that energy to them. Drama can drive you crazy. Hello, Shaylee. Nice to see you here. So just, keep all of that in mind. Now we're coming into the holiday season, and we're going to be around a lot of people that maybe we don't particularly like that much, or ones that we're not around, because of distances, people that we might not have much in common with other than our blood. And it can be really hard on some people. It really can. I feel very blessed and grateful that I don't feel that way in my situation. I get very excited and I can't wait to have my kids together and my grandkids and everything. But yeah, there was probably many, 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 many years ago when I did have those kind of family situations. You had the awkward relative, or the one that like nobody really liked, or that nobody really even knew. And it can make conversations uncomfortable. So just be a little bit more mindful of that, because this is that time of the year when we're usually around those people because of celebrating the holidays. Now, there was a time when I was that person who would I don't want to make waves in the family. I'm just going to go along, even though this isn't what I want to do. But I got to a place in my life where I'm like, screw that shit. No. If I don't want to do it, I am not going to do it. My time is more precious to me than doing something that I do not want to do. Okay? It's way more precious to me than that. Why would you want to spend your time doing something you don't want to do with people that, maybe you're not comfortable with, or whatever your situation? No, you have to do what is right for you and you alone. Hello, Joyce. Nice to see you. Hi, Linnell. Glad you could make it. And see if I missed anybody. Nope, I got you all. Okay. So, back in the day, a lot of us were those yes people. Anything anybody asked of us, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, 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 yeah. People pleasers, right? And you learn over the years that when you try to be a people pleaser, the only person you do not please is yourself, because you're never doing what you want to do. You're always doing what other people want you to do. And I don't know what it is in my life that got me to that point. I can remember being like 12 years old, and my grandma, every so often, she would have like these dinner parties where she would have company, like I think people, relatives or people from their church, I don't even know. And they would come over for dinner like on a Saturday night. And she only lived like 6 or 7 blocks from us when I was growing up. So I would go over there and I would help her, she'd get out the good china and I get to set the table and, all that fun stuff. And I remember this one time she called my mom and asked my mom, if I'd come and help her. And I didn't want to do it, but I didn't want to tell her no. And I can remember sitting in my bedroom closet, which my closet was like probably a 9x9. It was that huge. And I can remember sitting in there and just being so stressed out, in tears, because I didn't want to go, but I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And thank goodness I got over that kind of stuff over the years. But a lot of people are like that. And we have to, sometimes we don't even realize what it is that we want. So that right there is like the first thing to figure out. If it doesn't sit right with you, or you have a bad feeling about it, don't do it. And I will say that my mom was probably like that all the time. With my grandma, maybe. But after my grandma passed, it was more like pretty much my mom's way or the highway when it came to how she wanted to do the holidays and all that stuff. But we used to have quite a few people over. Some people that was the only time I saw them. So that makes it a little bit uncomfortable, especially if you're a kid, right? Especially if you're a kid, you're just kind of thrown into these people that you don't really know very well. So just be mindful of all that stuff. That is so awesome, Sarah. Sarah said she's choosing to stay home this year for the holidays. She's choosing me this time. Good for you, Sarah. The holidays can be a rough time, I know. Oh, you are right on time, Joyce. You are never late. Okay, hello, Michelle. Nice to see you here. Linnell said, just 4 of us this year. One being my grandbaby. How fun. Looking forward to spending time with my daughter in the kitchen. We always enjoy that togetherness. And when I was a kid and I'd go help my grandma for holidays, because my grandma would always do Thanksgiving and then we'd do Christmas Eve at her house. And we didn't have dishwashers back then. And she'd get out the good china. Wasn't going and getting the big paper plates, the big trays like they do now. The china ones that are real sturdy so it'll hold all your food. No, she had her beautiful china dishes, and we'd have to get them out and wash them like before, wash them after dinner, and then we'd have to put them away in the china cabinet. She had her certain silverware. She had her certain like serving stuff, glasses, and we did all that by hand. And it wasn't like this big drudgery because you're all in there together and you're doing it together and you're talking and you're communicating and you're joking around and you're having fun and it's a good time. It's a good time. My mom used to, it's so funny because every once in a while she would just fix a sink full of water and just throw some dishes in there and wash them. And I'd be like, what are you doing? We have a dishwasher. She goes, I enjoy washing dishes. And I used to think, what? That's crazy. She goes, yeah, I like having my hands in the warm water. And it's just very calming and relaxing. And I used to think that's just crazy. But it really is because I do the same thing. It's very, I think it's because when you're doing that, it's one of those activities you can do where, first of all, you don't have to think about it. You're just doing it. But it kind of like relaxes your mind, almost like in a meditative way. And that's probably what she enjoyed so much about it, because it kind of puts you in that kind of a state, which is really cool. So I still do, especially when the weather's cold. I like to do that and have my hands in the warm water because it feels really, really good. Let's see. Last year, I bought these gratitude cards that I used on my show on Thanksgiving. Well, I was going through them today and I pulled, there's like 3 different kinds. One is a reflection card. I think one was an affirmation. One is inspiration. So I took out all of the inspiration ones today and I'm going to use those for some messages. So if anybody would like a message, I will be using those. And my shine cards. These little cards are pretty awesome. It says shine from inside, shine from inside. And they have very short little messages, but they're very accurate and to the point. So I know Robert had said he wanted a message. So let's see. And don't forget, next Wednesday, while you're preparing for your holiday meal or whatever you're doing, tune into the show because I'm going to be doing a couple of giveaways. And I'm also going to have a raffle. And I should have that information posted by this weekend so you guys can see what it is, what we have, and all that fun stuff. Okay, Robert. The first card I got for you says, what have you grown tired of in your life? Where do you feel bored? What if these sensations were opportunities to reimagine the roles you are playing? That is your inspiration card, Robert. So what is there in your life that you've grown tired of? It could be a person. It could be a situation. It could be an environment, like maybe your work environment. Maybe you're getting tired and bored and you feel like you need to make some changes. Well, you know what that would require, right? Some manifesting. That's all you got to do. Put out there the intention of what you want, Robert. Now, the other card I pulled for you says, celebrate yourself. You deserve it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And, you know, we all celebrate ourselves differently. What I might do is different from what you might do, is different from what Tiffany might do, is different from what Linnell might do. So what is celebratory to you? Is it, crack open a beer and cheers to yourself? Is it getting yourself a specialty cup of coffee? Is it taking yourself out to dinner? Is it a nice bath? Whatever it is, celebrate yourself. Show yourself some extra love and kindness because you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. And you need it. Hello, Melissa. How are you doing? Melissa's show is on Fridays, Joyful Findings at 8 p.m. Eastern. So check out her show. And on Sundays, we have Tiffany White Sage Woman's wonderful show too. Spiritual Insight at same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So check that out. Okay, let's see. Hey, I think, well, that's weird. One of those cards is a different color. So anybody that would like a message, please let me know. I know I'm going to do one for Richard. He had to go to work. Let's see what we have for Richard. Richard. All right. We'll grab these other cards here. See what we find. Yes, I'm excited about the show next week because I do like to give things away. And I haven't done that in a while, so it's going to be fun. Okay, Richard. Now, I like these inspiration cards because pretty much they are a message for all of us, aren't they? Oh, I think you. Okay. Hello, Jan. Nice to see you. Let me write your name down. I would love to give you a message. Oh. And this says, Richard, the world does not begin and end with what you have known of it. There is so much deliciousness you've yet to discover. Wow, that's beautiful. Step out of your comfort zone, Richard. Go farther and beyond from what you've ever encountered before, what you've ever, dreamed of doing. Take it one step further. There is so much out there. There's so much wonderfulness. There's so much beauty. There's so much joy. There's so much love, and it's waiting for you. And the other card I got for you is treat yourself to something beautiful today. So do something a little extra special for yourself, Richard. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. Jan. Okay, Jan. So what we have for you. So this inspiration card, it says, step outside of your routine today. Enjoy the freedom that it brings. Sometimes we can feel very stuck in our routine, can't we? Sometimes we can feel very stuck. We can feel like we're in this rut that we just can't get out of. When I think of that, I think of the snow when I was a kid. And when people would drive down the streets, we'd get like 12 inches or whatever. People would drive down the streets and there'd be these ruts in the road from their tires because they hadn't plowed yet. And then once it got a little colder, they were kind of stuck like that. And they weren't going anywhere. And they'd be very deep. And it's once you get stuck in there, it's hard to get out. So throwing something different into your daily routine can be a game changer. It changes up the energy of your day. It changes up the energy of your routine. It can just lighten your energy a little bit, lighten your vibration. And the other card I pulled for you, Jan, says, get creative and excite your imagination with wonder. Do something fun and creative. Now in the picture here, it looks like she's painting or drawing. I see paintbrushes, it looks like. But do some, it's so cool because when we want to get our creative juices flowing, do you know one thing that you can do? Get a coloring book and crayons or markers or whatever and color. something it does, it really releases those creative juices and gets them flowing. And then you can figure out what it is, that you creatively want to do in your life. But coloring is a really good way to start that. I don't know if it's retraining your brain. I don't know why. All I know is that it works because I have done it when I felt stuck before. And then it seemed like, after sitting there coloring and stuff for a little bit, all of a sudden, all these ideas would start coming to me. Sometimes a little bit too fast. But I think that would be a great place for you to start, Jan. Okay, Joyce. Let's see what we have for Joyce. Write your name down, Joyce. Joyce. Let's see what we have for Joyce. Okay, Joyce. Joyce. The ability to change your mind is an incredible gift. Honor it as such. Allow yourself to change your mind about something today and fully enjoy it. Yes, live your life for you. Do what Joyce wants to do. Don't worry about other people, because I promise you they will be fine with whatever decisions you make. Because what you do is really nobody else's business. So that was your inspiration card. And the other card you got says, let go of control and relax into flow. Go with that flow, Joyce. Go with the flow. Just relax and just let it take you away. When you're in that flow, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to, you just kind of float along. And it's so nice. It's so nice. It's easy. It's refreshing. You're welcome, Jan. You're very welcome. Well, Michelle, I would be happy to pull a card for you. Just let me know. Sarah. What do we have for Sarah? Sarah down. Sarah. All right, Sarah. It says, today, try to notice small daily happenings in your environment. What if these mundane events were sacred spells calling out their secrets to the universe? That's beautiful. So something that's very small and mundane that you might do on a daily basis, think of them differently. Think of them as like chores and stuff. Instead of thinking of them as, oh, I have to do the laundry, do those things with love. I can tell you, this makes a huge difference, because you can be grumbly about having to maybe do the dishes, or because you're tired of doing them, or the laundry, or maybe the shopping. But if you switch that around and have a different perspective about it, and be grateful that you have dishes because you had food to eat. Be grateful that you have to do laundry because you have clothes to wear. So, and you can turn it completely around and see it from a different perspective. When you do, those things don't feel so mundane. They don't feel so boring. They don't feel so much like this daily rut that you're in. Okay, write down your goals and dream big. Write down your goals and dream big. I love that. And we've talked a lot lately about manifesting. And I know that you're working on a lot of manifesting a lot of new things into your life. So keep focusing on that And as you know, remember to what's I going to say? Put out crystal clear intentions. And that just reminded me this Sunday at 8 p.m. on Tiffany's show, Spiritual Insight, Sarah Ingrafia is going to be her special guest. So you guys check that out this Sunday. You are so welcome, Joyce. All right, Linnell. You're welcome, Robert. Okay, Michelle, let me write you down. Okay, Linnell. What do we have for Linnell? Linnell. Okay, Linnell, your inspiration card. The world does not begin and end with what you have known of it. There is so much deliciousness you've yet to discover. So there's more out there for you. There is more out there for you. I believe that's the card Richard got. And I feel like all the stuff that you've been doing, all the places that you've been going, you're just starting to scratch the surface. Because I feel like there's so much more out there for you. So that's so exciting. Practice Feng Shui, create a sacred space. A sacred space. Isn't that nice? It's nice when you can have, and I know I wrote about this in one of my books, about having that sacred space. Even if it's a closet. Now, especially when you live with other people, or you have kids, it's nice to have that spot that is just yours. Even if it is as big as a closet, it doesn't matter. Even if it's just a little corner of your bedroom, it doesn't matter. That is your space. You can go there. You can just sit and be. You can meditate. You can put up some wind chimes, burn some incense, and listen to music in your little space. But we all need that little me space, and make that space your sacred space, Linnell. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, you are welcome, Sarah. And now we have Michelle. Let's see what we have from Michelle. Okay, Michelle, your inspiration card. What a pleasure it is that the human body knows how to laugh. Enjoy your own laughter today and those that bring it into your life. Laughing is amazing. It's amazing that in this crazy, chaotic world, we can find things to laugh about, right? My mom and I used to sit, and she told me this so many times. We sit outside and just sit there drinking coffee for like a couple hours in the mornings. And we would just talk and talk and talk. And of course, we would talk all throughout the day. But she told me, that's one thing she told me, is that she never laughed so much and so hard as she did since she moved here. Or when she moved here. She was around a lot of her grandkids. Well, almost all of her grandkids. A lot of the grandchildren, but they were quite young then. And there was always something going on. Just in our everyday conversations, things would be funny. Not like people were telling her jokes, but, because life can be funny. And it feels good to laugh. It's a good release of energy. It's a good way to raise your vibration. So laughter is very healing as well. Now, the other card I pulled for you, Michelle, it says journal it out. Write how you feel. Journaling can be very healing work. If you journal and write down your feelings, you don't have to share it with anyone. That's for your own personal use. Um, but journaling, keeping track of dreams, journaling things that you want into the future, um, that's a very key thing. And I hope that you are currently journaling. If not, I hope you will start. Journaling helps us to get our feelings out, our emotions out, especially if we might have a difficult time talking about that. There's something very powerful in taking that pen and writing out those words. I don't know what it is, but it's a very empowering and very powerful feeling. So I hope that resonates with you, Michelle. Hello, Sam. Sam. Let me get you a card. See if I wrote you down. I did. Okay. And if I forgot anybody, just, let me know. Sam. Let's see what we have for you. Take a moment to appreciate a small success. Every moment is sacred. Awesome, Michelle. I'm glad that resonated with you. Blessings upon you as well. Take a moment to appreciate a small success. Sometimes we're so busy looking at the big picture, our end result of this big, massive thing we want to do, that we don't acknowledge along the way all the small steps that we had to take to get there. And every moment we should be acknowledging that. Every moment, is sacred. And showing appreciation for that helps you in communicating gratitude. It helps you in feeling gratitude. It helps you in attracting more gratitude. And the other card I got for you, forgive someone. Forgive someone. And when we do forgive, that is a gift we give ourselves. That is something we do for ourselves. We no longer hold on to what the pain or the anxiety of the situation. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, because we know that it did. But what it means is that we can let it go, so it's not going to affect us anymore in our life. We can heal that and we can let it go. Oh, Sam, I'm sorry to hear that. But forgiving your dad, you're not doing it for him. You are doing it for you. By holding on to that, that gives him power over you. That gives the situation power over you. Once you release that and let it go, it's going to release you from that hold totally. I'm going to email you some information and just look it over. It's about forgiveness, and it is hard sometimes, but what good is it doing you to hold on to that? The longer that you hang on to those feelings and keep them buried, over time, it's going to start affecting your health. We know this. So you have to release that. You have to release that and let it go for yourself, not for anybody else, but for you. Hello, Heather. Nice to see you. Let me get you a card or two. Okay, so the inspiration card that I have for you says, what stories have you created about yourself? The power to proclaim them or change them is in your hands. This creative power is always within you. Yes, you create yourself. You create your story. You own that narrative, and you can change it at any time. You can change it at any time. You get to create the you may not have created at the beginning, but you get to create it going forward from there. And you definitely get to say how it ends. And then the other card I got for you says, your soul whispers love. Your ego shouts fear. Ooh, yes. And the more we get away from our ego self and we let that kind of fade away, the more love that we do feel in our lives, the more we bring out that spiritual aspect of ourselves. So remember, you get to write your own story, and you can make it anything and everything that you want. You get to decide. And let it come from a place of love. Don't let it come from an ego place of fear. Fear doesn't do us any good at all. You know, I used to be a worrier, and I just think that's because my parents were like that, and I heard it all the time, and I just kind of developed into that. And I would worry about the craziest things that probably had a zero possibility of ever even happening, right? And none of this stuff would ever happen. But sometimes when I was young, I would worry myself sick. You know, I would just have the bad stomach, or it would cause headaches or whatever. But over the years, I've learned to let that go. We don't need, why would you want to try to attract something like that you don't want to happen in the first place? Why would you give it so much energy? You're better off to focus on solutions, first of all, than the problem, because we always have solutions to whatever, ails us or whatever our issue is. There's always a solution. Don't focus on the problem. If you focus on the problem, you're becoming part of that problem. I'm going to pull a card from Melissa. Oops, I just dropped a bunch of them. Oh, let's see what we got. Oh, I love this. Okay, Melissa, your inspiration card. Think of 3 things you did this year that you are proud of. Honor the effort it took. I like that. And that's something good for us all to do. Even if it's not 3 things, even if it's just one. Think of something that you did this year that you're really proud of. Because, when we put forth an effort, that takes a lot of our energy. It takes a lot of our time. And it's nice to be able to feel proud of that. It's nice to be able to feel empowered by that. And to know that what we tried to accomplish was worth it, was worth the time and effort that we took. And the other card I got for you, ooh, I like this. Okay, there's some butterflies and rainbow and star and a alarm clock that says 11:11. And it says, look for the signs and synchronicities. Look for the signs and synchronicities. And I know you have, and I think a lot of us have been having those a lot more lately. Heather says, I completely agree, Ruth. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Well, I see that we are out of time. That show went really, really, really fast for me. Make sure you guys come back next week while you're, breaking up your bread for stuffing or making your crust for your pies, and at least listen, because I'm going to have some giveaways and I'm going to be doing a raffle. And I wouldn't want you guys to miss out on that. You guys all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Good night.